A surprise loss to the Force in Perth by 18 points to 15, and changes have been rung by Dave Rennie and his team. Marshall, Tameafuna and Manu, the starting front row. Then Brodie Retallick alongside a newcomer to Super Rugby, the English-born Matt Simons in the second row. At the back, two Centurions for the Chiefs, Latimer and Messam, team up with Samoan international Kane Thompson. Tawera Kerbalo and Aaron Cruden, the halfbacks, directing proceedings. And then in midfield, Tom Marshall, who made his move from the Crusaders after 3 seasons in Christchurch, alongside Andrew Horrell. 100 test All Black Mills Muliaina back in the colours of the Chiefs this season at fullback, and a Super Rugby debut for 18-year-old Anton Leonard-Brown. The recent form of the Bulls, well, that loss against the Cheetahs coming on the back of a first-round loss to the Sharks, but they really turned that around. The Lions, the Blues and the Sharks again have come to Pretoria and lost over the last 4 weeks with a bye in between. Fasaki, Kriya and Krailing, the same front row has started against the Sharks. Just one change in the starting 15 for the Bulls this week. None of those changes in the forwards. Victor Matfield retains the captaincy in the absence of Flip Vanameva. Dierbal Potgieter made a welcome return from Japanese club rugby straight into the starting lineup against the Sharks last week. And Jacques-Louis Potgieter has been a revelation. The first 2 matches saw Louis Foucher at fly half. Since then, Jacques-Louis Potgieter has taken control. 2 Springboks in the midfield, Engelbrecht and Serfontein. And the only change to the Bulls lineup comes at right wing. Akono Ndungani replacing Sampi Maastricht. Ndungani, who got the last 2 weeks off on compassionate leave following the passing of his father. The Chiefs' replacements, well, plenty of experience there, particularly Mo Schwalger, Jamie McIntosh, a former captain of the Highlanders, and Sam Cane, an All Black, on his way back from injury. For the Bulls, Hongi Umbanambi, Marcel Vanameva and Morne Millet, the front row replacements. Grant Hutton covering the second row. And the 3 backline replacements, Piet van Zyl, who made his move up from the Cheetahs, Handré Pollard and Ulrich Beyers. A very predictable pattern. They certainly mixed it up last week against the Sharks, and they did a couple of unexpected things, but their basics remained exceptionally good. The set piece, the scrums, the lineouts, but immediately under pressure early in this game. Hougaard doing well to secure the ball on the ground. What a great pass from Jacques du Plessis, and it's shifted away to Jürgen Visser by Jacques-Louis Potgieter. The kick charge down.
Well, lots of energy from the Chiefs to start. It was a big kick deep into Bulls territory and high enough. Bulls with the doyen of Blue Bull rugby, and certainly the aerial attack on the line-out. Victor Matfield back, have been 93% successful. Here they attack.
And some wonderful line-out options for the Bulls, with Jacques du Plessis towering above his man at the tail.
No, play on. I'm happy with the second one. Advantage over.
And Retallick bursting out on the counter-attack. Latimer away to Horrell, beautifully got his arms through the tackle. Latimer again, then Tameafuna. Quick to punish the smallest of handling errors by the Bulls in their own territory. Horrell. Kerbalo for Cruden. Looks to his inside. Here's Muliaina. Beautiful burst from him. What a line. What a try. A first for him back in the Chiefs jersey in 2014, his 30th in all of Super Rugby. The timing of the pass from Cruden exquisite. The line, a thing of beauty.
Well, the Chiefs were looking smart and silky and ultimately were successful. The flick inside it is Aaron Cruden. He just knew that the experience of that man, Mills Muliaina, was right there inside. It was across the face of 2 people. Victor Matfield, the last ball, putting a flailing hand out for the ball, wasn't able to grab it, and Jürgen Visser was left behind as Muliaina scores. For me, what was more important, and foreboding for the Bulls was that they attacked from a turnover in their own red zone and made it all the way up to the crunch time. Kept the ball, the offloads were beautiful. It was all marshaled by Kerbalo and this man Cruden.
Well, uncharacteristic from Aaron Cruden, missing his first 2 from the kicking tee, but a beautiful try.
Now that it was taken up the middle first up, so sucking in the defenders, then the out wide, the pass back on the inside, the 2 oldest folks on the field, Matt Field and Mills Molina. He wins this battle.
That's strike, not strike, not strike.
This might have heard through Craig Jabez's microphone there, one of the
Say more, play on.
chief staff suggesting that that throw was less than straight. Now Hougaard probing.
So what?
Proved very effective in those situations against the Sharks in the win here in Pretoria last week.
Use
Francois
it.
Hougaard certainly building in confidence
Roll away, 5.
as the season progresses. Here's Jacques-Louis Potgieter very deep with the drop goal attempt. It was charged down by the Chiefs and quickly regathered by them. They've got a real opportunity here. Horrell, Muliaina. Crude and beautiful offload for Tikaratuma. Then Tom Marshall. Kerbalo, switch to Horrell, beautiful step past the tackle of Matfield, looking for the support runner, there it is, Messam, Liam Messam over. Second try of the season, brilliant Chiefs rugby, exploiting deficiencies in the Bulls defence with the simple concept of an offload.
Thank you.
Well, it's glorious rugby. It doesn't matter which team you're supporting. You've got to say that Horrell's break up the middle was so telling. A little step off the inside to beat Matfield. He then flicked it off to Messam, the 7th specialist who's made his name in Super Rugby by following up and making the tackles and the catches that nobody else can get to. Intense speed, intense ability, and it means points for the Chiefs.
And again, let's make the point again. Coming from a Bulls mistake, a speculative at best drop goal attempt from close to the halfway line, partially charged down, defence disorganised and quick to exploit.
Well, it was a poor idea and the implementation was even worse.
It's just the skill set as well, the offload and taking up that middle. They're really trying to exploit those channels between the A and B defender. That they're getting absolutely right at the moment with those inside passes. Messam, as ever, on hand for the try.
And the Chiefs line up going awry. The grubber through from Hougaard. Awkward ball for Tikaratuma. And Hougaard sniping and back to his opportunistic best.
Well, it just didn't come off for him because there was a bit of a heavy touch after the first tap, and that one, although it was skew, was one at the back. Hougaard, he dropped the first one onto the boot. Tikaratuma couldn't get it, and then Hougaard kicked it again. The Bulls have won it.
Matfield was the man who got up, read the line out call.
Turnover good. Yeah.
But turned over by the Chiefs.
Turnover good.
With one back again by the Bulls. Neither side looking after the ball particularly well on the ground there. So the Bulls have another opportunity. Kralen with support from his fellow front ranker Werner
Go
Clear.
White.
Hougaard, Potgieter for Ndungani.
Rectime White. Advantage offside.
Khalifa Sahi, Paul Willemse. The Chiefs were offside at that previous ruck. There will be a penalty coming should the Bulls not make more of this opportunity. Jacques du Plessis with a drive. Here's Hougaard. Potgieter and Engelbrecht on the angle. Well read by the Chiefs defence. Hougaard again, now Jacques-Louis Potgieter. Dierwald Potgieter.
All going backwards, no advantage offside.
Back they'll come for that penalty. Decision time for Victor Matfield. 5 meters out, 5 meters in from touch, with a line out that's functioning well.
Well, it was a complete mess up by the Chiefs, because Hougaard had kicked the ball out, and then the line-out was won very easily at the front by the Bulls, and that's what stemmed this entire attack. They almost lost it once, but it was offside play, so the penalty means that they're going back for a line-out. Now the Bulls can form a driving maul.
And Matfield calling it to himself, quickly shuffled back for Dion Stekman, and Stekman has scored. Brilliant execution of the maul, his first of the season, and a 6th Super Rugby try. Clinical from the Bulls. And
Well, we said it, the driving line-out was well constructed, well set up.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Did you get a number?
They sacked Victor Matfield in the middle of the line-out, but there were 5 more to replace him, and it was Stekman at the back who was over. Despite the attentions of Tiko Ratuma, you can see him diving in at the end there to try and stop it, and the Bulls' replacements are off their feet.
Two penalties and a conversion missed by Aaron Cruden. So that's 8 that have gone a begging. And an obstruction called. Stuart Berry over on the far touchline.
So that was the wing there. 11, yeah. Direction and intentionally changing his line obstruction.
Okay. 11 changing his angle, so obstruction.
So immediately an opportunity for the Bulls to hit back with points of their own, and Victor Matfield not interested in Jacques-Louis Potgieter having a shot at goal.
Well, we spoke about the brute force, didn't we? And look at that, Tiko Ratuma has had to come back from in front of Brody Retallick, and he wasn't in front of him before the ball had gone into the sky. Victor Matfield with a win in the centre of the line-out.
Looking to
ball to the back.
regain a lead that they held early in the half with a Jacques-Louis Potgieter penalty, but then the quick response with 2 tries from the Chiefs, and they've been ahead ever since.
Get it up, use it.
And Stekman once again in control at the tail of this maul.
You have to use it when I say use it, Charles.
Well, Paul Willemse and Matt Simons getting very involved in the off-the-ball stuff.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of argy-bargy going on there.
On 2
And
occasions, I said use it now.
Craig Javert just explaining why the ball was given away. This is a maul. He said that it's stopped on 2 occasions. That there, for me, looks like Stekman is stationary. We don't have the sound now. There we go. He's giving him the tap on the shoulder, saying you have to use it, you have to use it. Tamo Funa, I thought he'd swum up the side of that, and
Yeah, completely offside there, Bob. Not even a question about it, but the fact that he said use it for the 2nd time, they've got to get that ball out and utilize it.
also the fact that he didn't have a jersey on. I think Craig Javert was maybe doing the stadium a favour.
Set.
Big pressure from the Bulls scrum now, but illegal pressure.
And around. Up and around.
Created by Dion Kralin.
Might be a little unjust, I think, Matthew.
Well, I will always defer to Rob Kempson on this. Kempo, give us an explanation there. He said he scrummed up and around.
Well, the up part I definitely agree with, but certainly to start off with, you see Tami Funa, he goes straight in on the angle right from the outside. As the pressure comes, there you go, he's almost square with the touchline. And then the power starts coming through. Now, if Dion Kralin just kept this down, now he's going up, that is a penalty, he's correct. But certainly just before that, if Kralin kept on going down and through, he would have had a turnover from the scrum.
Chiefs lose another line out. Hougaard put the kick through, and Craig Joubert will call on the TMO once more. The crowd on the eastern stand don't like this.
Time off, Sean. I want to have a look at that, please. Number
Okay,
9.
I'll show it to you.
Whether he's intentionally obstructed.
Okay.
Well, there's been a couple of nitpicky events in this game, hasn't there? The first half is definitely stretched because of it. He's going to go upstairs and see if Francois Hougaard was taken out after he kicked it ahead. Look at the win at the back from Hougaard. He goes, 3 players coming in, he's kicked it. Oh, Tika Atuma, if you ask me, is pretending not to, but he's completely getting in the way of the player. I'm not saying that is a
penalty only.
yellow card event, but he's definitely changed and got in the way of the player,
Sean,
hasn't he?
For me, and I'd like your view, for me 11 does change his line so that 9 can't get through that hole. And yep, so have you got a better view than that on your high definition?
No, that's exactly what I've seen.
Yeah.
All he's doing is turn out to go back and chase. It's not our fault if he runs straight into the net.
I understand that that's what you try and make it look like. The reality is there was a hole, and because of his action there wasn't no longer a hole. So it's a penalty for closing that gap. Yeah.
I love that.
Because it's late, you have got an option of the of this. Yep.
From Aaron Cruden.
And where did it land? On the 22. So where do you want the penalty? Here. Yeah. This is where the ball landed, so its mark is here.
That's the second time in a short space of time that Tiko Atuma has been penalised for obstruction.
Sorry.
And his 3rd penalty of the game. So you don't want to be a liability to your team. This is the incident. So he definitely turns. The beauty about that is he can turn and close his eyes, and if Hougaard avoids him completely, he can say, well, I didn't do anything. If Hougaard runs into him and he stops him, he can say, well, I didn't do anything. So Craig Joubert dealt with that very nicely with Cruden. He said, I know that that's what you want me to think he's trying to do, but he's changed his line. So, like I said, nitpicky, but it's given the home side a chance to get within 1 point just before the halftime break.
So Jacques-Louis Potgieter with an opportunity to reduce the deficit back to 1 on the stroke of half-time. The flags are raised. It's his 3rd successful penalty of the first half. Liam Messam, one of the scorers. The other one scored by Mills Muliaina for the Bulls. Dion Stechman scoring their only try of the first half via a rolling maul. A very difficult place to come and play rugby for visiting sides. The Bulls have lost only 3 of their last 20 games here at Loftus Versfeld. Tom Marshall using the kick as the exit strategy that time. Jürgen Visser. I'm just saying before half-time that the Bulls have dominated this contest from a territory point of view. Both the Chiefs' tries relatively long range. One initiated from inside their own 22. And perhaps a message from their coaching staff would have been to play for territory early in the second half. Cruden's kick skewing off the side of his left boot and into touch on the full for a Bulls line-out. Now, the Bulls line-out has worked exceptionally well in the first half of this game.
Well, it's a powerful weapon in their armory, and they use it very well. Victor Matfield, a real marshal there. He was talking to his charges about what he wanted to do, and when he gets to the line-out, he'll then decide where he wants to do it from.
And it's Dewald Potgieter, the target man at the back. Stechman again in possession. Serfontein running straight at Aaron Cruden's defensive channel. Quick ball for Hougaard. And then Kreiling.
Let it go! What? Tackle situation. Arriving player who no fault of his own goes to ground. So going forward.
Excellent communication from Craig Joubert, the big man, Brodie Retallick, in over the ball, and it's a long way down for him.
Well, he's done everything textbook there, Brodie Retallick, but now he's been caught in the ruck. And you'll probably find you could see his arms being taken away from the ball. Craig Joubert called it that he's tried to win it. He hasn't managed to win it. And the ball is stuck between him and the opposition on the ground. So the technicalities of these rugby laws have to be well known and well adjudicated by the referees in charge.
I'm comfortable with that. Yeah.
Retallick in partnership with Matt Simons in the second row, both of them standing 2 meters plus in their socks.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Retallick already establishing himself as one of the more experienced in this Chiefs side. Simons in his first season. Much better scrum from the Bulls here. And looking to milk it to further advantage. Potgieter holds at the back. Here's Hougaard. Beautiful pass for Engelbrecht. Slipped the tackle of Tom Marshall. Very flat for Jacques du Plessis from Hougaard. Couple of options in the midfield for the Bulls, but they made an awful hash of that. Lost forward, and then the clearance kick from Kerbala.
Yeah, it was a lovely piece of play by the Bulls and got all the momentum. Look at the width from Hougaard. Finds du Plessis, goes to ground, then wide again. And this was ball and all on the ground and stolen. Looked like Liam Messam again getting involved, and Tawara Kerbala kicked it straight out. Line out time again for the Bulls.
Kalifasaki for Matfield.
Right, use it once.
And that maul immediately going backwards. So the use it call has come already. And still moving. Real momentum here for the Bulls. Steckman has a quick look up. And the penalty try awarded. No doubt in Craig Joubert's mind that the pulling down of that maul has definitely prevented the scoring of a Bulls try. And Jacques-Louis Potgieter will line up a conversion right in front of the posts.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that the Bulls regathered at half-time and said the area we need to beat the Chiefs is in the physical up-front game. They did it in the very first scrum, and look at this in the very first line-out. There's player after player from the Chiefs trying to pull that down. Simons has done it. Messam was involved, Tanara Latimer as well.
It's clearly you falling on the ground there.
Wide slip, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you're in the bin.
Well, that's what he said. Simons has done it, and I think it might be that the replay being played on the big screen, Craig Joubert actually felt that it was a yellow card offence. It was always going to turn into a penalty try because the Bulls train had left the station and they're on their way to the whitewash.
Quality work from those boys in front, particularly Jacques du Plessis. Have a look at him in the hard yards from Willemse as well on this left-hand side. No doubt about the pulling down, no doubt in Craig Joubert's mind, and mine as well, that would have been a try.
7 points conceded, and now 10 minutes conceded in the bin by Matt Simons. Brilliantly timed tackle from Teko Ratuma on Okono Ndungani.
Wait here, wait here.
And Jacques-Louis Potgieter from a pretty narrow angle makes an excellent clearance up the grandstand touchline. Much more vocal Loftus crowd all of a sudden.
Definitely, it's been a real turnaround. The
Blue
Bulls
will
have
be 5.
definitely got that message. They need to dominate in the physical areas of this game, and they've done that. They've chosen the first scrum. They were outstanding there. The first line-out, brilliant. A penalty try given.
Advantage.
Messam with the tap down at the front.
Advantage over.
With the Chiefs short of a line-out option. Cruden. Kind bounce for Visser. Potgieter happy to drive the Chiefs back with the kicking game. Cruden again. And no pressure from Jürgen Visser. Good low tackle from Cruden on the follow-up.
Wait here.
Potgieter. And curving. Just landing inside the field of play. He was watching that ever so anxiously.
Yeah.
Well, the sway of the luck is starting to favour the Bulls.
Send him on.
And I could see Potgieter looking for a gap. He didn't want to kick it down the throat of Mills Muliaina. So now as we see the introduction of Morné Millet, and Dejan Kreiling leaves the field, it's another line out where the Bulls can put pressure on the Chiefs and try and play their rugby deep in the opposition's half.
Another good line out win from Messam. Horrell skips a man. Tikaratuma. And Latimer. Away to Marshall. Hochart. Now Tikaratuma with the counter. Latimer in there helping, as is Ben Tameafuna. Have the Bulls kept this up off the ground? No, not quite. Kerbalo. Muliaina.
What's the knee play on?
It was a poor pass from him and lost forward off the knee. Here's Basson. Gets away from his man. He's got electrifying pace. And Basson! Well, we spoke in the first half of the Chiefs capitalizing on some poor execution from the Bulls. They have turned the tables now. Very poor pass from Muliaina to Cruden, and some shoddy defensive work as well.
Absolutely, and look at that, it was the long pass from Matfield. He trusted Basson in his pace to take on the players. He's gone around Messam. The mistake on the ground has given the ball, or given him the opportunity when the ball popped up. Look at that.
After the kick for the
He is electrifying in terms of speed. It's a mistake on the ground from Messam, and a 5-pointer for Basson. Victor Matfield knew the opportunity was outside him. He flicked the ball to Basson, and like I said, the luck is riding towards the Bulls' way. Everything has been bouncing for them, and that is a crucial try.
First one of the season for Bjorn Basson, number 27 in Super Rugby. And Jacques-Louis Potgieter with a kick to take a lead of 13 with half an hour to play. He loves it. 5 out of 6 now for Jacques-Louis Potgieter.
The Bulls have muscled their way back in the scrum. This time, Bjorn Basson just shows a little bit of his skill. The chip over the top, he has the pace. Muliaina, he gets past him. Messam makes an awful hash of it. Bjorn Basson gets over. The Bulls, they're thriving now in these conditions.
Well, he's seen it on the big screen and happy to own the decision. Craig Joubert.
That's okay, the Chiefs need a bit of the rub of the green.
Bind! Set! Stand up, please, guys. Okay, all right.
Plenty of new personnel in the front rows. We've also got Dejan Kreiling back on. Saw him replacing Werner Kreer, so...
All right, because
The pitch just ripping up a fair bit as they engaged on that scrum, so potentially that was the only reason why it went down.
Who knows if I'm right?
It has been mentioned, and we were talking about it in terms of conditions, Rob, but how do you think the field is held up? This rain incessant rain over the last couple of weeks has just created a surface, an unstable surface. But it is such a good pitch. Has it made it through the game?
I think it's done exceptionally well. It has held up, and yes, it will rip up underneath the scrums. It's more with the backline play that you tend to see disadvantages going either way with slips, and that certainly hasn't happened in this game.
Too much movement from the Chiefs in that scrum before the ball was put in. So the free kick taken by Mbonambi. No way through for Van Sail. Marcel van der Merwe lost forward. A lot of errors creeping into the latter stages of this game.
Well, it's one of those short-term penalty tap moves, which, to be honest, are a little bit tired, because not much ever really comes of them. I'd rather get 3 or 4 players behind the man who taps the ball and set up an initial ruck, clean over that, and have an opportunity to attack.
Time off.
A lot of fancy footwork and moves amounting to nothing there, especially at this late stage of the game.
Werner, your call of white,
12 and a bit minutes to go.
23 handling errors, though, between these two sides. Could argue a little bit of that moisture in the surface that you were talking about has crept through to the ball, but it's Ulrich Beyers there, who's replaced Jan Serfontein in the midfield for the Bulls. 5th Super Rugby cap for him.
Yeah, he's a good player, Uli Beyers. I watched him come through the age group levels as well. Dominated in a very powerful Blue Bulls under 21 side and junior levels as well. He's a robust, hard tackling midfielder.
Just on 11 minutes to go at Loftus.
Bind!
And the Bulls continue to keep the Chiefs pinned in their own territory, leaving them with plenty to do in the last 10 minutes of this game. Tim Nanai-Williams, beautiful offload for Anscombe, and then Pulu, and Anscombe again. This is brilliant from the Chiefs. Gareth Anscombe will go in.
Yeah, Sean. So I want to have a look. Something didn't seem right there. I just want to go back
Right from the start.
to those passes, yes.
Okay.
I'm looking for an obstruction.
Okay.
I'm happy with the pass here.
Back up to the TMO, and Craig Joubert will turn his attention to the big screen. He's told Schultz-Veldsman he just had a bad feeling. He just suspects there may be a bit of obstruction.
Well,
some very slick handling.
The funny thing is, from the beginning of this play, you can only go back to the next ruck, but they haven't had one, have they? Look at this. There was a shout of obstruction there from Potgieter. Maybe that's what Craig Joubert is talking about. It's a bad missed tackle from Hougaard, who's been defensively very sound tonight. Anscombe, a big part of this. Pulu does well to realize he needs to get it back to Anscombe. And then Anscombe does exceptionally well. The step inside off the right, and the right again. And there's no problem with the grounding.
Craig,
Yeah, sure.
we're just going to have another one from the scrum.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay.
Here's the move.
That's the one, Craig.
Yeah, look, I've got absolutely no issue with that, Sean. I actually believe 19 Blues bought a dummy there
Yeah, that's good.
and changed his own direction.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm awarding a try. Would you agree with that?
Agree. The passes were all right.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, I've got no problem with that being reviewed, and I think it was reviewed very, very well. They went back because of a feeling, and you could clearly see Jacques-Louis Potgieter signalling for the obstruction, which wasn't there. If I'd been dummied like that, I'd also signal for obstruction.
And Gareth Anscombe will attempt to convert his own try. And the flags are up. 7 points, 7 vital points. Chiefs back within 9.
They are chasing the game. A fantastic try this is. Just the angle of the running. You're right about the dummy there. Bought and sold. Just this handoff as well. Hougaard gets handoff. That really is ultimately where the try stems from. And his passes over the top, great handling skills and changes of angle. And the try to the Chiefs, edging their way back into this.
Well, two sublime pieces of attack from inside their own 22 have resulted in tries for the Chiefs. Their second try also came from a position of considerable depth. The Bulls were chasing that 4-try bonus point, and now the turnover brilliantly affected by the Chiefs, and perhaps Victor Matfield will instruct his troops to revert to type. Play the territorial game. Awkward bounce, bad bounce for the Chiefs. Potgieter quick to pounce, and Grant Hutting is after this ball. And Tikaratuma back.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, did you see the pace of Hutting? Fantastic.
Got it.
You got that, Sean?
Yeah.
Thanks, have a look. He's taking a push, and then... Yes, thank you.
There was a chip ahead from Aaron Cruden that was lost, and Jacques-Louis Potgieter got it. I think he shrugged off a tackle and then chipped ahead. And there's the kick from Tikaratuma. And you know what? Hutting did well as well, because he could have gone in and shoved Tikaratuma in the back. I've seen that happen a couple of times, turning it into a penalty, but the kick out from Tikaratuma was from inside the field of play, out over the back.
Correct, those are all the angles.
The play from
So, Sean, let me just run by you what I've got there. I actually don't believe there's anything wrong with the players running into end goal. It's in kicked dead by White. So I've got a 5-meter scrum for Blue. How does that sound?
Yeah, Blue was merely putting his hands on the white player.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Well, that's what I was saying. The only thing that he could have done incorrectly was push Tikaratuma. He didn't do it to the effect that it's going to be construed as foul play. Tikarattuma's kicked it dead. The Bulls on the attack. 5-meter scrum.
Tell you what, the fitness trainer is going to be happy with that effort from Grant Hutting. He took on Tikaratuma and Tim Nanai-Williams.
Play 15 on 15.
Sure, he's got a longer stride, but he wasn't found wanting much. Some really good pace shown.
Well, we've seen him play number 7, number 8 and lock, so he's clearly got the pace for a loose forward. He's moved around a fair bit in a short-ish career as Grant Hutting, but he seems to have settled well here at the Bulls.
Crouch!
And he did his bit there for the team. We still want that bonus point try.
Set!
And Van Zyl has it at the base. Potgieter switch to Beyers.
Let it go, White!
Change of direction from Van Zyl. Duplessis. Chiefs defense waiting for him.
Yep.
Van Zyl this time for Dewald Potgieter.
Lost forward.
Lost forward by the Bulls in contact. And we've seen just what the Chiefs can do from these positions.
The ball carrier. Is it you?
Dewald Potgieter back from his stint at Yamaha Jubilo in Japan. Hairdressing not high on the agenda there, clearly. But he was just delighted to be back last week. He's such a great team man. He's led the Bulls in the past. He took a lot of pressure on with some decisions he made as a skipper here in the colour of the Bulls, but he is just delighted to be back at the base of the scrum.
Well, that he is. He's also an accomplished writer and a deep thinker. His Twitter handle says he's the last remaining member of the clan Rhinoceros.
18, unbounded.
But here, he's showing the physical side to the game with the other forwards. And they've shown real dominance of this Chiefs scrum today.
The call was against 18, Josh Honeck.
Unbound under pressure, and the scrum collapsed.
Craig Jabir has been quite patient with Aaron Cruden. You know, he hasn't snapped at him, he hasn't said to him, get back, but he's unbound. Look at that, on the right arm, and Craig Jabir's right there. The right-hand arm has gone down. Am I right, Rob?
That's an old trick that, you know, before they brought in the laws about the bounding it, particularly under pressure, you slip that bound back on the inside, which gives you a much tighter shoulder, and you can go in on the angle and protect yourself. So spot on once again from Craig Jabir.
Advocate Kempson concurs.
Well, I put it to you that he's been doing it all day.
Oh dear.
Jacques-Louis Potgieter, 6 from 7 becomes 7 from 8. Just using up some valuable time and creating that little bit more space.
Yeah, they seem to be in control now, the Bulls, and they'll want to make sure that they don't do anything untoward here. Victor Matfield with a good win from the kickoff.
Victor Matfield is going to see out this game, the 3rd consecutive match that he's going to play the full 80. First few matches of the season, he was off the bench, but has taken over the captaincy from Flip van der Merwe. And it's looking like 240 out of 240. Deliberate knockdown from Bayers is the call. Chiefs will look to touch as quickly as possible. Setting up a line out about 10 meters out from the Bulls' try line.
That's Bayers. I'm not sure that there was a knockdown actually, but
Take your boys, please.
I do understand it's definitely fractured the Chiefs' attack. So Craig Jabir being more fair to the Chiefs than anything else on that.
Schwalger with 4 in the line-out for the Chiefs, and a lovely variation with Pulu through the middle. And the try is awarded. Dramatic end to this game at Loftus. 34 plays, 27 with a kick to come.
Well, Anscombe's moving across to the kicking tee as quick as he can. And here's the move up the middle. Look at that from Polu. Good work. He was tackled well, but had made the yards already. And then Simons with a pick and go, showing immense strength to get over. Did exceptionally well from a pick and go at the base. 3.5 minutes-ish to go. And Anscombe will want to give his team at least 3. But that's gone wide. So at best, right now, if they score a converted try, they could turn it into a draw. There's the reach from Simons.
Let's go for it, please.
Delight in the coach's box from the Chiefs. Matt Simons with his first Super Rugby try. This just his 4th Super Rugby game in his debut season. Former Great Britain rower. That perhaps goes some way to explaining that upper body strength you were talking about. He and his brother moving from England to New Zealand to play professional rugby. The Chiefs must build again from way down in their own territory. Anscombe, Simons, Latimer, tireless. Here's Jamie McIntosh. Beautiful offload from him for Josh Honeck.
Use it!
Anscombe again. And then the carry from Michael Fitzgerald. Pulu, Anscombe. Horrell brought down by Dewald Potgieter.
Got the ball, play on.
Inside the final 2 minutes. Consolidated by Schwalger. Fitzgerald. Bulls certainly not overcommitting at the ruck and tackle situation here.
Ball out the hands backwards.
Just opting rather to spread their defensive line. Here's Messam, who is just never going to give up in a situation like this. Man of the match in last year's Super Rugby final, and a very strong start to the 2014 campaign from Messam as well. Marshall. Railing in there, making the tackle, lost backwards by the Chiefs. Sam Kane. Tikaratuma. Timnana Williams. Here's Messam again. Patience. The real virtue for the Chiefs here. There's a terribly high tackle there from Ulrich Bayers, and Tikaratuma is away. Tikaratuma with a man to his left. It's Horrell. Brilliant back tackle from Ndungani, but held up long enough for Cruden. Cruden for the corner. Try! Incredible from the Chiefs. Playing an advantage. The captain on hand with seconds remaining to score in the corner.
Matty, I'm happy.
And there will be a kick to get the draw.
Well, watch this. It was the high tackle from Bayers which created the doubt. Tikaratuma then took off up the middle. He flicked it into Horrell, who got brought down beautifully by Ndungani. Off the knees. And then fend, stretch, and score. That is brilliant, brilliant rugby.
Okay, Sean, if you think there's any doubt, have a look.
We check it.
Well, this is...
I think, Craig, we just double check.
That's fine, Sean. If you think there's doubts, we'll have a look.
Okay.
Pretty important decision, really.
Sean Feltzman's had a word here with Craig Javert and said, I think you need to have a look at this. It's a crucial decision, and on that last angle that we saw in our replay, may have looked a bit short.
Nothing wrong there. That's an exceptional individual effort from Aaron Cruden.
Yeah, good.
So the try stands for Aaron Cruden. 5 tries in total for the Chiefs, so at least 2 bonus points to go away with from Loftus should this kick not go over, but a 4-try bonus point plus 2 for a draw should Anscombe goal this from the touchline. He had to rush his previous conversion, which went wide. This time he can take as much time as he likes. Anscombe from touch. The flags are up, and in truly dramatic style, the 2-time defending champions secure a draw at the death. Quite extraordinary. The Bulls look to have this one absolutely wrapped up with 10 or 12 minutes to play, and yet the Chiefs never ever gave up. Tries by Simons and Cruden, and that final crucial conversion from Anscombe brought them level. Full time at Loftus in Pretoria. It's the Bulls 34, the Chiefs 34.